What's good, MK Empire? Welcome back to our channel. So you guys, before we get into this video, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, turn on those post notifications so that you'll be notified every time we upload.
Yes, indeed.
Because we're not consistent, but we still upload Monday, Wednesday, Friday when we do upload. So be on the lookout. So as y'all can see by the title, today we are going to be talking about our birth.
Yep, the birth of our handsome,
fourth baby.
fat, good smelling son.
I was gonna say, what are you getting at? But yeah, so Messiah. So
Snack time with my women.
yeah, we got some snacks. So if y'all want to eat some snacks, look on here. Got these from Sam's Club. They busting. We actually had some other ones that was busting, like they was better than these. But I ain't even gonna show y'all.
I'll just spot my
Banana nut mustard. Alright, so let's get into it. You want me to start off or you gonna start off? Alright, so August 15th, I had my doctor's appointment at like 11, right? It was like 11 or something.
Yeah, we went early that morning.
Yeah, my appointment was at 11:20 specifically. So what happened was before that, I had went to the doctor in like 10 weeks. Just because it was a lot going on. They tried to say that I had gestational, which I feel like was capped. But anyway, that's a whole nother story.
Yep, what is going on about that?
That's a whole nother story. Long story short, they had me go to a specialist. I went to the specialist. I ain't even gonna say where it was at or what the name was.
Just the situation.
I went to the specialist. First of all, the doctor was 45 minutes late. Then he tried to say that the next appointment I had, he was gonna suggest a low dose of insulin and all this crazy stuff. Then they wanted to do an ultrasound, and it was just a lot of stuff that I didn't want to happen. So I went there one time and I stopped going. In my other doctor's office that referred me to them, I stopped going there too, because I was just like, F it, I don't need to go to the doctor. Also want to note that I did get a glucose test that they prescribed to me. My numbers were perfect and I wrote them all down on the chart, you know, just to keep tabs and make sure everything was good. I know my body, I'm like, I'm good, the baby good, he moving.
Yep, we got all signs of the baby being a healthy baby.
Yes, so I was like, I'm just gonna stop going. So I finally decided to make me a doctor's appointment because I was getting like close to the end. And I was like, well, let me just make an appointment just to see, like, you know, make sure everything good, my blood pressure, Blood pressure was good, urine was clear, same old, everything good. Because every doctor's appointment I went to, they kept telling me, like, oh, your urine's clear, which is good. If you have proteins in your urine, that's sign of diabetes. If your blood pressure high, I had none of that. So the doctor came in or whatever, and she asked me did I want my cervix checked, and I was like, actually I do, because I want to see. Because that day I kept having, I was telling Mike, I was like these contractions starting to get strong. I'm like, it woke me up out my sleep, so I'm like, I know we definitely getting close. So
Definitely.
I kept telling him, I was like, I'm probably like 4 or 5, maybe 5 at the most centimeters. Remember I kept saying?
She was estimating, but everything she was saying was right on with that. But we'll get into that like as we keep going on. But yeah, she was right on with that though.
Yeah, it's like I know my body down to the T. I was spot on with everything.
Definitely. That's
so
crazy. I
was definitely dilated. She said I was about 3 or 4 centimeters. Cause she said I was 3, but it felt like she could stretch some more. So it was probably about like 4 or 5. So I was spot on with that too. And
that was up though.
So she was like, I think you're in active labor. Well, she said, I think you're in labor, in early labor. Something she said. She was like, so, yeah, so she was like, I suggest that you would go to the hospital later to get a labor check. So I went home, you know, we did our regular little routine. Oh yeah, our van was in the shop. We had to use Shawnee's car to get to the hospital. Yeah.
Yep, we did was going through a van crisis, so it's like
we had a lot going on.
Everything happened right when it was supposed to happen, but before that, leading up to that, we was worrying because
I wasn't worried. I told Mike I have him at the house. He was like, no, man. But I was like, I mean, I done seen so many women give birth at home. And I was supposed to have a doula. So this is what pissed me off even more. So our van, it wasn't our fault, but our van had to keep going in the shop. And during that time, I was supposed to go get my last wax before I had Messiah. And my wax lady, she's in training to become a doula. So she was saying that she needed, you know, people for her experience for her to get her certificate. And I was gonna let her be my doula.
Yeah.
Never made it. I was so mad. I'm like, oh my God. And I needed her to be there too. And I'm gonna tell y'all why. So anyway, so yeah, the van crisis, So we in my sister's car, driving to the hospital, and then.
Oh yeah, I was thinking the same thing I always think. I gotta get her to the hospital because she doing all that, leaning over and all that. But this time she was taking the wheel. Like last time she was leaning over and all that. This time she was on.
That was literally from the car.
She was still grunting and all, but it wasn't like it was last time. Because, you know, that time going on, you might get to night, but. That's all I was thinking about before we got there. Just trying to get her there so we can see what's going on without saying but we done did this a lot, you know. As time goes on, you ain't gonna think too much, you're just gonna do. So it's just like, that's what I was on.
So, you wouldn't have went and had him at home?
I would have been all for it, but I know it was just all talk in a way.
All talk? But with me?
We wanted to have him at the house.
Who? He capped. He is capped. I kept saying let's have him at home.
I know, but we be talking about it having him at home, but I don't think we really would have.
Oh, you crazy? Because I definitely really would have. I definitely really would have.
Well, I'm gonna say it'd be a possibility of the future, but
it's like I done did it so many times. It's really like literally no need for me to go to the hospital. And this last time proved that to me. Last time when I had Layla, I definitely could have had her at home. Like I literally went to the hospital, pushed her out of triage. I definitely could have had her at home. And then having Messiah, he was 8 pounds. No medication, nothing. And I'm just like, I literally can do this at home. I didn't have no issues at all. No, I never do. I never rip, I never tear, so I never had to worry about like, if I was to have him at home and that happened, how would I get stitched up or how would I, you know, that never happened. So it's like, I know I could have had him at home or unassisted, like an unassisted birth. But it's like when you never did something before, you do be kind of scared. But I felt like I could have did it. Yep. That's why I feel like I needed the doula. I needed the doula to be there. Because she would have told you too, like the same thing. You know, she would have made you feel like, you know, this is natural. Years ago, hospitals wasn't a thing. Women was just giving birth because it's normal. Yeah. Like animals in the wild just give birth like it's normal. But yeah, so yeah, we get to the hospital or whatever. Contractions is like getting stronger and stronger as like we drive there. Luckily it wasn't traffic, da.
Yeah, it's like it's never traffic.
It just be meant for us.
Yeah, like, yo, we got this smooth and you know, when we first got there, I had to walk with her, of course, and make sure she was good along the way until we checked in and all that. I keep saying until we checked in.
I be doing, I have bad.
Until we checked in, but after we checked in, they checked her stuff, you know, they checked the cervix again, the blood pressure. Asking a lot of questions and all. So, did you have preeclampsia? How many kids did you have? And
that's another thing too. Did
you smoke? You know, the whole 80 questions you gotta ask.
So that's another thing too. They put a lot of French toast in there. I'm about done with this. But that's another thing. So with my first pregnancy, I had high blood pressure and preeclampsia. So every pregnancy after that, they consider me high risk. Even though I didn't have it with my second one, I didn't have it with my third one, and I didn't have it with this one. Even though they said I had gestational diabetes, which I believe was capped. But yeah, so I'm gonna throw this out there too, just in case somebody asks. So the reason why I thought it was capped was because I took my first glucose test at like 18 weeks past it. And they had me take a second one around 20 something weeks, I believe. No, it was 30 something weeks.
I'll say it was close to the end.
And I kept saying, I didn't think about it like during, but I thought about it after the fact. And I was thinking like, why did they have me take another glucose test if I passed my first one? And then the second one they had me take was like I was like 30 something weeks. And I think you usually take that at like 20 something weeks. So I feel like that was a setup. So yeah, that's why I kept saying it. But yeah, so we at the hospital, like Mike said, is asking me all the questions. Yeah. They put the monitors on me. I hate those things. I really do. And the nurse came in. She was like, I've been all up in your business. She's like, you're taking these contractions very well. And she was like, because you know, you can see it on the screen, like every time a contraction comes. She was like, you've been taking these contractions very well. She's like, I've been all up in your business. I was like, yeah. So if y'all didn't watch, we have some footage of like them rolling me to the labor and delivery room, stuff like that. So after a while, I got rolled to the labor and delivery room. They was like, okay, you know, just let us know when you're ready to push.
Yeah, boy. Hey, we gone. Let me see. The first time, what was it? Cause she thought, let me see, what was it? Cause the first time, I think, well, they kept asking her really, they kept asking her if she didn't wanna let her water break.
Oh, okay. So you get into the part where like I was getting like when the doctor came in.
Yeah,
because the nurse,
you know, they just kept asking me that even before and then look at
they kept, because okay, so the doctor came in, she kept asking to check my cervix, and I kept saying no. But then I did let her check it one time, and the one time she did check it, that's when she was like, because my contractions was so strong, I just was like, okay, yeah, you can check it now, because I want to see, like, is it time for me to push, like, what's going on? And she kept saying that my water was bulging, like it didn't, like my sack.
Like it was finna pop, but
it didn't.
Just didn't do it yet. So of course, you know, if it didn't do it yet, it's gonna do it. So of course, Kora was like, just let it happen naturally, cause I'm right here at that point, so no need to really rush now. So. Yeah,
like, cause they kept saying like, well, if we pop the water now, it'll be time to push. And then I had a good nurse. It was a black lady. The doctor was a white lady. The nurse is a black lady. The nurse was really good.
Midwife, yeah.
Well, I don't know if she was a midwife or not.
It was the one. I mean, the Caucasian lady was. She was the Caucasian lady. But,
I don't think they like being called Caucasian, but yeah.
She was saying, what I said?
She was trying to pop my water, and I kept saying that.
But I was saying she was a midwife. That's what I was getting at.
No, the white lady was the doctor. She was the one that delivered him. That was the doctor. The doctors deliver the babies, and then the ladies on the side be like nurses or midwife. I don't know if that black lady was a midwife or not. She probably was, but she was a good nurse or whatever she was, midwife, the black lady. Because, and the reason why I say that is because she kept reassuring me and making sure I was comfortable. Like when the doctor kept saying, well, I could pop your water now, and then the black lady was like, she's like, but we don't have to, it's up to you, you know, like it's whatever you choose. The doctor was saying that too though. She was like, it's whatever you choose. She's like, you know, but if I do it now, it'll be time to push. Like, but I just felt like they kept trying to, I didn't want to rush it, you know what I'm saying? So, and cause I'm like, it's gonna pop regardless. Like, it's not like
it was taking forever, and like,
yeah,
it was perfect. So it was like, we just playing the waiting game.
It actually popped when I started pushing. Do you want to tell them about that?
So I'm like, okay, we to the part she pushing, I'm holding the leg, well, I'm on the side, I'm not really doing too much. Her leg really propped up on the little hole.
Cause
it's so slight where you can put your foot and rest it, like when you know your leg to a certain point or whatever. So it was funny because in my mind I'm thinking she was gonna do that, like when she pushed stuff was just gonna.
So you knew that was gonna happen?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Cause my water didn't pop.
Cause when you push, like you taking the
dump.
Yeah, you know, taking the dump. So it's like, it was just a thought in my mind, but then she actually did it though. She was pushing and stuff.
So look, they asked me, that was another thing the nurse did too. She asked me what position I wanted to push in. Yeah, and I was so shocked, I'm like, that was the first. Like, I'm gonna have 3 kids and my 4th child is the first doctor that ever asked me like, what position do you wanna, or nurse, whatever, midwife, whatever she was. And I was like, wow. So what I did was, because I was so weak, I just lifted the seat all the way up, because you know how like you can squat. They say like when you squat and have a baby is better. So instead of me being leaned all the way back, I pushed the bed all the way up, so it was like I was almost like
like sitting in a chair or something. Or
yeah, like I was sitting up so that gravity could help like bring him down or whatever. So I was like, I wasn't like too far back. So
recline just a good amount.
Yeah. So and it was comfortable for me like that. So, but yeah, my water popped while I was pushing and shot out on the doctor.
Shot on her shoulder, boy. She was this close from like getting on her face. So I was like, wow, I started laughing too. She was like, good thing I got on the stuff to put with it stuff.
Cause she was gonna pop my water without like being suited up, and that probably would have been even worse.
No face mask, that you shot on. I would have been like, wow.
Cause most doctors wear a shield too. She didn't have no shield on, so it still could have hit her in the like.
The fact that it still got on her, like shot out like a lot, like got on her. That's crazy.
Yeah, she should have had a shield on, a face shield. But yeah, so that happened, and I started pushing. But when I tell y'all, his head, you could tell his head was big because when I felt it, I felt the ring of fire, and it was like, just push through it, just push through it, and I was just like,
push. Head slid on through. Pull his head started up quick. They had to pull him out, and all the fluid came out behind him. I was like,
yeah.
But I watched all of them
come out.
I watched all of them. Coming to the world.
Yeah, he never passed out or throw up or nothing like that.
I'm always in action.
What do they be thinking when they be coming out though? Like it's just so.
Is that what I be thinking?
Yeah, like I don't think I could watch somebody else give birth. Like
it's like I be anticipating really. Cause like we all looking down at so private area and we all just like, oh, just push, coach you through it, but
yeah.
Come on, just be like.
Cause I remember hearing him when like Messiah Hills was like, "Come on, baby, you almost got him out." I was like, "Oh my gosh!" Like
you gotta coach you through it. Just breathe. Oh my God, you there? Type something, but it feel like we in the behind the scenes.
I know, right? I just I can't really see myself watching somebody else give birth. Like, I don't know. It just I could watch it like on TV or like on YouTube or something, but like in person, I don't know.
I do it, but it was still nasty.
Yeah.
I gotta push her stomach and all the.
Oh, speaking of placenta.
That's crazy.
Oh yeah, he hate that part, the placenta, right?
That's all nasty.
You don't like the placenta?
Push your stomach out, the blood just come out.
Yeah. I hate when they do that.
Then they gotta pull the cord and like it'll come out.
I be having to push the placenta out. Like they'll tell me like, because I guess after a while it detaches itself once the baby come out, and then they'll tell me like, okay, one more push.
My face still.
And then come out. But I've only seen, out of 4 kids, only seen 2 of my placentas, and I don't remember what baby I saw placenta, but it was kind of big. Messiah's was a little small.
I think it was the boys. I think.
Really? It probably was.
I
honestly don't remember. I know I didn't see Samia's. I know that for a fact. It was so much that happened with that one. I know I didn't see hers.
You seen Messiah?
Yeah, I saw Messiah's. His looked this small.
It probably had to be the boys. Crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy. So we're gonna get into the placenta now. So I wanted to do a lotus birth so bad, and that's where you leave the placenta on attached to the baby. Now I was supposed to have the herbs, the bag to put it in. When I tell y'all I was so mad, I was so unprepared this pregnancy. Like we just had so much going on. I couldn't even like
process it all. Weak to think.
I packed up my bags literally at the last minute. I didn't even get to do a what's in my hospital bag video. Like it was so last minute.
No one do all that.
And I was so unprepared, and I really wanted to have a lotus birth. So I kept telling myself, I'm like, okay, so since I don't have the herbs and the little bag to put the placenta in, I was like, I'm gonna just do a delayed clamping. Basically, delayed clamping is when you leave the placenta on until it start beating. Supposedly it has like a heartbeat or something. Or I think you can leave it on for like a couple hours until all the blood from the placenta goes back into the baby. And I forgot how many hours that take. But basically you do it, you know, within a certain amount of time, and then you cut the cord. So I told the ladies before I pushed, I remember saying, can I do delayed clamping? And the doctor specifically said, we do that anyways. Do you remember that part? You probably don't. But I was like, can I do delayed clamping?
I remember something like that.
She's like, we do that anyway. So I'm like, okay. So Masai comes out, right? And a little bit before he came out, they were saying that I had some meconium. If you had kids, you know what that is. It's the baby's first poop. So he pooped inside me. So usually, like, I think sometimes the baby like breathe it in and they can get sick or like develop an infection or something. So they was like, as long as he comes out and everything's fine, you know, we'll do it or something like that. So when he came out, he was breathing, so I'm assuming he was fine. And the lady still did it, and she told me it's been a minute. When I said that pissed me off so bad, but I was so exhausted and I didn't have no energy to say anything. But I was so pissed because she was like, it's been a minute. And I'm just thinking like, what the hell is a minute? What is a minute? And I felt so heartbroken when I seen, when she pulled the placenta out, I seen them put it in the bucket. And she handed it to a nurse behind her. And I was just looking like, wow, they really taking my organ. I felt so heartbroken this time. And usually, I don't be thinking nothing of it. Because I didn't know, you know. It's like when you don't know, you don't care. But when you know something, you learn about it, and then you have your mind set on something. When the opposite
thing happened, it crushed you.
I thought Messiah was ill, that's why I stopped it. But yeah, basically. So I felt so heartbroken when that happened. I feel like I let him down. I was like, dang, I was supposed to let him get all his stem cells. Oh, he is up.
Crazy.
I know I heard him. I said it sounded like he was up.
Yep, y'all, when that happened, she was... Yep, I was like, dang, too, because, you know, of course, we wanted the delay coming, but... I said,
of course he won't do it.
Boy.
Alright, so, but yeah, that was that about the placenta. What else happened? That was about it. No rips, no tears. Everything was good.
Yep, after she pushed, Messiah came out. Of course, the mom supposed to hold the baby after the come.
Oh my God, yes, that made me mad too.
You know, giving birth is when the baby come out. The mom is supposed to be the first person the baby see and the first person the first person that gets to hold the baby is the mom. You know, then they do skin to skin and bond, and then they wipe the baby out as the mom holding the baby and stuff.
Yes, what the hell? Because when he came out, they sat him down there at the bottom, was just wiping his head. I'm like, okay, y'all gonna put him on my chest?
They did all that, and then
they took him to the thing on the side, weighed him up, swaddled him, and all. I'm like, what the hell they doing? That made me mad too. Like, it was, boy, they had a lot going on.
So like mixed.
Yeah, it was mixed.
Mixed stuff going on this.
Yeah, it was mixed. Cause I'm like, what the hell they doing? And it took them forever. Like, usually I get the baby right away. Like, they don't do all that. They wait a little bit to do all that. And then of course I'm breastfeeding. So you know when you breastfeed, you gotta feed the baby when they come out. They be hungry for something. I guess all that work they done put in and come out, they be hungry.
Cluster feeding.
So I'm like, I was like, oh, you ready to hold your baby? I'm like, yeah, I want to feed him. Like, let's get this show on the road. So yeah, it was definitely mixed, but it was unmedicated. You know, that was a plus. I'm glad I had him natural.
Yep, natural as it gonna get.
So I feel like now going into childbirth, I could just go straight in knowing that, like, yep, I don't need that epidural.
You know, because first it's like a scary thing, but you gotta go through more stuff. You know, after you went through it and felt it, and you know, you conquer after a while. You know, plus the drugs not to be bad for the baby. I know most folks pain tolerance like real, like they gotta do it. But if you can fight through it and then do it on the best for you and the baby. You know?
Yeah. Most of the time, people don't really have to. They just feel like they do. Or like, it's just a mind thing. Like, years ago, like when our parents was coming up, they didn't even have the option to get that. Like, you only got an epidural or anesthesia when you was having a C-section. If you was giving birth naturally, they didn't even have like that epidural and all that stuff. And if they did, they dang sure wasn't trying to give it out like that. So
it's crazy how times change.
Definitely. Cause now they do it with no problem. And then the babies, cause one of the nurses was telling me like, cause I kept saying how he was cluster feeding, like he was just drinking milk like every hour on the hour. And she was like, well, you know, at least he's feeding. She's like, a lot of women, they have problems with like trying to wake their baby up because they be so drowsy from the epidural. And they don't be wanting to wake up and feed, and then they be having like, you know, the milk overflow. You know how like my milk be overflowing? But he be drinking. It just, he be, from him cluster feeding so much, it made me like overproduce. But yeah.
She wanted me to suck her milk out.
Yeah, I do, cause that junk be hurting. I didn't have no pump either. I still ain't got no pump.
Yep.
But
I help out and stuff. Even though I don't be wanting to.
Boy, he did one time. This pregnancy, I don't know what's the issue. My other pregnancy, he was drinking it like it was just juice or something.
Oh man.
It was.
Yeah, that's real though. That's true.
They know it's good for you.
But of course. But what I feel say?
I don't know, but that's the end.
That's about everything.
And our camera red, so. Alright, we had to free up some space real quick, but yep, y'all, that's the end of this video. You got any last thoughts?
No, I'm just happy my son here. Everybody asking us how he doing, and we'll probably do some baby updates along the way to give y'all some updates on how he doing. You know what I mean? I would say one out top that he's been doing.
Before this come out, his bath video will be out, so that'll kind of be like a little. But I think what we usually do updates 1 month. His 1 month update. Yeah. That we usually do monthly updates. So yeah.
So I guess. Well, we don't gotta write it down. I know I give something. Well,
I'm gonna remember 1 month.
Of course, no, mom always. I'm remembering too, but I just give a couple of mine that I noticed, and then I'll do it tomorrow.
Is he smiling? Oh, I thought he was smiling.
That's smelling good. But y'all, that concludes the Messiah's
birth video.
Hope y'all enjoyed that. Make sure, well, we said in the beginning of the video, but still make sure you like, comment, subscribe, turn your post notifications to be notified about every video we drop. And
follow us on all social media at The Real MK Fam. And we will see you guys on the next video. We out.
Peace. Say peace, son. Say peace.
Y'all, he is big.
Everybody just said.